morning to ya. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It just makes me want to get up and do a little Irish jig.
Oh,
So,
oh my.
welcome to Boys in the Burgh, the podcast all about Pittsburgh and these Italian boys talking about some Irish traditions. My name is Chris Speranza.
My name is JJ Speranza, and we do have some Irish in us, so we are technically kind of almost there.
Yep, and luckily we already wore these hats previously when March 1st came through, but you got your four-leaf clover hat on. I got my St. Patrick's Day Steelers hat on. For if I turn it around, I got a four-leaf clover, but I'm not going to
That's
leave
three,
it.
buddy.
Three-leaf clover. That is three. Huh. Boy, are the Steelers unlucky. So
I don't know. Do you see the people they're picking up? It may happen for us this year.
okay, so Max Crosby, you stay where you belong. Okay, before we get off topic, the episode today is pretty much talking about the St. Patrick's Day parade that happens in downtown Pittsburgh every single year. And we'll get into the fun facts about it and just some stuff you might not know about. So, just to let everyone know, if you want to listen to these fun facts, they are on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. You can also watch some shorts on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram Reels, and listen to us. You could use Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or watch us. You could use YouTube and Spotify as well. Can I be on any more platforms? I don't think so.
Are you on WhatsApp?
I am not on WhatsApp. I've given up on Twitter, so no Twitter.
You mean the site formerly known as Twitter?
That's right. X. So I guess we can start off. I know I kind of came in hot, JJ. But I guess we could talk about like what St. Patrick's Day means to us, just to kind of get everything started before we get into the parade and everything. Because some of my favorite holidays are 4th of July, New Year's Day, and St. Patrick's Day. To which my wife made the connection that I like to drink beer. And
I mean, she's not wrong. Is there anything besides the merriment of these holidays that make you, like, especially for St. Patrick's Day, that draws you to it?
I think it's just it's like I think I enjoy everything that's like a party like environment that everybody can participate in, because nowadays if you are like doing a party or something like that, sometimes you go to like a club or something and people are 20 years old and you feel creepy being there because you're a little bit older, and you're just like, I don't like, you don't feel like you're part of the party. But when it's like St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, New Year's, everybody is like in it for the same thing, which is just green beer and green shots.
Yeah, I got to ask you, green beer or Guinness or both?
Guinness. Oh, it is Guinness all the way. And just having Guinness in a Guinness glass as well and drinking underneath the foam, holding the glass, looking off into the sunset, and just drinking with your elbow like this. I learned that from Conan O'Brien.
Outstanding. No, I love that that's why you like the holiday. It's really cool to know that, like, what pulls you into these holidays is, like, everyone wants to do it and everyone gets to be a part of it.
Now, what does St. Patrick's Day mean to you? I know I've done a lot of. I got excited by doing the whole jig and everything, but I want to ask you, what does St. Patrick's Day mean to you?
There are 2 times actually, I'm sorry, 3 times throughout the year where there is, like, a special beer that I have to have on a special day. October 1st is always the first Oktoberfest from Sam Adams. Indianapolis 500, it's always we just talked about it last week, the Iron City Mango Beer, first night there, and, St. Patrick's Day is always a Guinness. Like, those are the 3 big I have to have on those days, those beers, and, it's always been that way for me for some reason. I've always just really enjoyed it. I loved, like, getting together with people. It's not really a grilling holiday, but about 10 years ago, my buddy Tim and I, We did a whole Irish feast, and we did a bunch of different foods and had a whole bunch of Irish foods to eat, and that I miss those, like, doing that kind of stuff, like, eating all the different foods on St. Patrick's Day.
What are some Irish foods? I feel like it's just lots of potatoes and cabbage. Am I accurate with that?
Slightly, there's corned beef and cabbage, Irish
Corn.
stew, which is, like, very hearty potatoes, corn, it's a very thick soup, shepherd's pie,
Heck yeah.
it's, like, basically a meat pie with, mashed potatoes on top, bangers and mash, which is basically sausage and, mashed potatoes or cooked potatoes of some sort. Do you ever have, Irish soda bread?
No, and I think I kind of came across that in my research. So what? What is this Irish pudding bread?
Irish, Irish yogurt bread. I don't it seems to be a bread that's cooked with, like, oh gosh, I wish I had the recipe. It's a light bread, and it's supposed to be something that, like, helps fill your belly whenever you're drinking, pretty much. But it's supposed to be really light and really, really good tasting.
That's good. And I think last year we were talking about St. Patrick's Day in Pittsburgh, to which I think we might have talked about the little person that would come out of the bar in the South Side and just they would knock on the door, be like, "Get out here!" And just the little man would just come out and just be like, "Yeah, I'm a leprechaun." And then,
Yeah, the guy that passed away on my 21st birthday.
yeah, that guy.
Oh, good times. Oh, poor guy.
What a life to live. So I'm just trying to think of for some reason, like I never really go to Carson Street on St. Patrick's Day. We only did it that one time, and it was 10 degrees that day, I wanna say. It sucked. It was not a fun time.
It was fun being down there with you and Carissa and Katie. It was too cold, and the tickets were weird the way that they worked out, like, it was just a strange night, but it was fun being out with you guys on St. Patrick's Day.
I did get a message from somebody that suggested and I think this is why we couldn't figure it out. It says, "The official Lucky St. Patrick's Day bar crawl." I think you gotta, like, sign up for some bar crawl thing to get past all of the, what are entry fees? I don't know what the hell they call it.
That's what Katie did.
She did, and then we still had to pay to get into most bars?
Yep. It was just that year. That year in particular was just weird.
Oh, yeah, I remember they were saying that was weird. What year was that? That was before COVID, wasn't it?
Um, 2019 maybe?
The last normal year, we shall say.
All across the board. I have a history of the Pittsburgh Parade, and I also have a history of the actual St. Patrick's Day Parade in general. What do you wanna dive into?
I want to dive into the parade first. So I'll let you talk about the parade, and I w- should I do an Irish jig while you're talking about the parade for the
You
viewers?
should you should at least river dance.
At least river dance. Okay, talk about the first fact, and this is just
Alright,
for the people watching.
and this is pretty, lengthy, just so you know. St. Patrick, who was born in the late 4th century, was one of the most successful Christian missionaries in history. Born in Britain to a Christian family of Roman citizenship, he was taken prisoner by age 16 by a group of Irish raiders who attacked his family's estate. They transported him to Ireland, and Patrick spent 6 years in captivity before escaping back to Britain. Believing he had been called by God to Christianize Ireland, he joined the Catholic Church and he studied for 15 years before being consecrated as the church's second missionary to Ireland. Hey, why'd you stop?
I couldn't do it for that long. I'm tired.
Patrick began his mission to Ireland in 1432. I'm sorry, 432. And by his death in 461, the island was almost entirely Christian. That's why we celebrate.
I am glad people have listened to that because I'm exhausted from what I just did.
Early Irish settlers to the 13 colonies, many of whom were indentured servants, brought the Irish tradition of celebrating St. Patrick's Day feast to America. With the dramatic increase of Irish immigrants to the United States in the mid 19th century, the March 17th holiday became widespread. Today, across the United States, millions of Americans of Irish ancestry celebrate their cultural identity and history by enjoying the St. Patrick's Day parades and engaging in general revelry. This is all from the History Channel website, which I found this was really, really cool. I promise I'm getting to the parade though.
I was about to say, do you want me to read my facts and you can do an Irish jig?
No, no one needs to see that.
Okay,
Celebrating
continue.
celebrating St. Patrick's Day in America began in the 18th century as a way for Irish immigrants to connect to their heritage and to declare pride in their identities in the face of anti-immigrant and anti-Catholic sentiments. After people of Irish descent became more accepted, the holiday became an opportunity for all Americans to honor Irish culture. However, the first recorded St. Patrick's Day parade, what year do you think that was?
You asked me last year, and I looked it up again this year, and I know the answer. It is 1869.
That's when it became official.
Ooh. So when did it actually happen? Oh, hold on. Hold on.
It happened in St. Augustine, Florida.
Oh, you're talking about in general, so not just Pittsburgh.
Just in general, all around. Like official
Mm,
Pittsburgh was the 18, whatever that was.
69. I'm going to say 1855.
1601.
Oh, yeah, that was my second guess. I was just about 200 years off.
It was in St. Augustine, Florida, organized by Ricardo Arter, the colony's Irish vicar. Sorry. This event was part of a broader celebration of Irish culture and heritage among the Irish diaspora in the New World. Basically, the Irish immigrants came over and they wanted to celebrate, brought that tradition with them. In 1601, there was the first celebration.
I'm going to throw something at you that might have not been in the history. Why is it that, and I'm not knocking on it, why is there like an Irish holiday, St. Patrick's Day? I know it's super popular because everybody's drinking and everything like that. But why is it just like that holiday in America is the most popular and there's not like I know there's Italian festivals, but there's no like a specific Italian day or specific like that is like nationwide celebrated.
I'm assuming because no one ever had a guy named St. Patrick make an entire colony, an entire island Christian. You
Okay.
know what I mean? They're celebrating the guy, and I think it just got Americanized with the whole drinking for the holiday.
All right. You got me there.
Last little burb. Boston had long staked claim to the first St. Patrick's Day celebration in the American colonies. On March 17th, 1737, more than 24 Presbyterians who emigrated from the north of Ireland gathered to honor St. Patrick and formed the Charitable Irish Society to assist distressed Irishmen in the city. That is where 100 years later, Pittsburgh takes over.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh, I know you're just talking about Irish in general, but what the uh, because Pittsburgh, from what I looked up, they are like one of the biggest like parades in America. It that's what it says. Yeah, considered one of the largest in America, getting about 500,000 spectators every single year. And d- fun fact for you, or a guessing game for you: does the parade happen on the Saturday before or after St. Patrick's Day?
Before.
Correct, because this Saturday, for people who are listening, tomorrow, it's going to be the St. Patrick's Day parade on Saturday in Pittsburgh. So,
They're doing a live stream this year.
oh, sweet. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. And another fun fact: Happy birthday, Grandma! We'll see you at Haas's on Saturday.
Is her birthday the 17th?
Her birthday party is on Saturday.
When's her birthday?
Listen, JJ, I'll ask her when we go to Haas's, okay?
Enjoy Haas's for me. I hope you get a hot dog.
A hot dog with my name written in it. Oh, Haas's is another episode we could do.
It sure is. We can talk about how I would get sick every time I went there.
Oh my god, I forgot about the history behind that. I need air. I need air. I'm gonna throw up. And Dad like, ugh.
This child of mine.
But okay, that's another story for another episode. So Pittsburgh finally started it. It becomes one of the biggest parades in the entire nation, and I at least know where the parade route starts. But go ahead, JJ.
Behind Boston. I feel like Boston and Pittsburgh are some of the biggest. Well, and we talked about this in other episodes. How big is the Catholic community in Pittsburgh? It's huge.
Yeah, because fish fries, just like how we talked about last year in an episode about fish fries, there Pittsburgh is like one of the biggest areas for that. And I don't think anywhere else kind of compares to doing like fish fries on that level.
No, no one. I know down here it's not a thing at all. But there's not many Catholics down here.
Yeah, and you're right. There's a huge Catholic following. Like I remember like going to St. Barbara's Church in Harrison City, and you would just see everybody there. You would see your teachers, your classmates, every single person was Catholic. And in the words of John Mulaney, the slogan should be, "It's an hour."
Um, I'm sorry. You asked me where the parade starts. I actually have that information.
Me too, but I
Oh,
I would like to talk about real quick what it's like working on the Saturday of the parade at the Strip District.
yes. Tell us about that. Also, I'm very proud of you for doing all this research. Great job.
Well, you know how I did my research.
That doesn't matter as long as you did something.
ChatGPT was just like, "Here's a bunch of facts so you don't have to do research." I'm like, "Thank you." But
Meanwhile, I'm on like
ChatGPT
these backways websites like, okay, I got to go to this website for the diocese.
but the thing that ChatGPT cannot do is the memory that I have of working at the Strip District. So I've been in the Strip District when I was working there for 2 straight St. Patrick's Day parades. That is where are you yawning? No, I'm kidding.
I had to burp. I figured I wouldn't do it in your ear.
So, uh, basically 2 straight, St. Patrick's Days, and the parade route kinda starts lining up on Liberty Avenue in the Strip District area, and that day, the owner of the store that I worked at, we'll keep all that anonymous, he always was
Let's call
like,
him Slagathor.
let's call him Slagathor. So Slagathor, uh, basically was just like, everybody needs to be at the store at 7 a.m. in the morning, and the store usually opens at 9. So here I am there at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I hate to say he was right, but he was right. He knows his clientele. It wasn't busy at first, like 30 minutes, but then people started kind of crawling in around like 7:30 a.m., 8 o'clock. People that are like waiting for the parade to start, they're like getting like extra beads. He would buy these cheap ass like beads and light up stupid things that would break after like 2 uses. But they sold. They sold like crazy. Let me mention some shirts that were on there in the Strip District. I didn't do research on this, but I'm just going to go from memory. Um, a 3-leaf clover that has the Italian colors on it saying McTallion. So that's one. They're pretty much like that, like Mick Polish and Mick whatever. So it was pretty much all that. And then there were like some weird shirts. It was just like uh it would be like, you know how it's like "Kiss Me, I'm Irish." He would just have like random shirts that would say like "Kiss me, I'm a lesbian," or like "Kiss me, I'm Italian," "Kiss me, I'm this." And I'm like, the lesbian one threw me off. I was just like, I wouldn't wear that shirt personally. Well, I'm not a lesbian, but even if you were a lesbian, I feel like you wouldn't wear that shirt. But hey, it
You sure it didn't
sold.
say? You sure you didn't? Sure it didn't say thespian?
What? So basically, these shirts sold like crazy. There'd be like Steelers ones. Well, that didn't say Steelers. It was the logo, and it said Pittsburgh instead of Steelers. And that's how you make your way around it, JJ. And just like Penguins logos that have like green and white. So hate to admit it, that man, he knew what was up. And people would just come in from the parade route. They would buy some beads. There was people that would come on off the streets, and pretty much the Strip District. I mean, It was open till like 5 that day. It was dead by like 3 o'clock. Everyone went to South Side at that point. So that's kind of my experience. I mean, it's not a long story, but that's kind of what happened.
I like that. I like how there's a tradition of strip district is where it always starts and it goes to downtown and then it ends like by Point Park, but everyone goes to the strip district afterwards. How I mean, I'm sorry, goes to the South Side afterwards. But if you're in college, South Side's been open since 7 a.m. for keg and eggs.
I
There
know it speaks for itself, but please go more into that. I feel like you're like they drink beer and they eat eggs. What else do you want to know?
That's it. There's the breakfast, like most bars open for breakfast. And you go in there, you start drinking, you eat your breakfast. Some people go home and take a nap and they come back. Some people just keep on rolling even after the parade's done. And I've always wanted to do it, but I just didn't have it in me.
As an adult, the nap is the greatest thing ever invented.
It really is. It's amazing.
As a travel advisor now, if people are going to Disney World, what I suggest is going early in the morning, taking your afternoon nap because it gets really hot in Florida, and then going back in the afternoon. Napping is incredible.
It's essential for happiness.
Yes. But that's a good idea. It's like, I think you and I have both done it before where we go to some craft show or something, and they're just like, here, try some whiskey. And then you drink it and you just go home and you're like, whoa, man, did I feel that. And then you just take a giant nap and then wake up and then you got the whole night ahead of you.
Exactly. It's the greatest thing ever. And most college kids that I knew back in the day, they would just keep going. They would start at 7 a.m. and not stop until 7 p.m. or I'm sorry, 10 o'clock p.m.
Yeah. And I feel like we do that in Indianapolis when we go for the 500 also. We kind of start
Well,
drinking
we
in the
used
morning.
to.
Yeah, we used to, but now what we do is we think we're still cool and we drink in the morning instead of drinking coffee, and then we end up falling asleep after half of the day's done, and then we wake up again and just do it again.
I am a big fan of coffee and lots of water now. I Water is the source of life for me.
You're drinking a beer right now.
Yeah, I'm going to bed in like an hour.
I have water with me.
Did you know that there's a 5K for this year for the parade?
Ooh, tell me more right now.
Yeah, there's a Pittsburgh Parade Day Dash. It's a 5K and a 1 mile family run starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's in person or virtual, and you get a medal and a hoodie for running the race. And it takes place all before the parade happens.
Wait, this year?
Yep. Morning of the parade.
This could be my first 5K of the year if I do it.
It's a little pricey, but it looks really fun.
What's the virtual price?
Same as the in person.
I don't like that.
I think it was like 40 or $45 or something like that. But all the proceeds go to continuing the parade. It goes toward the parade.
I might change my New Year's resolution from running 3 5Ks to just running 3 5Ks by myself without paying anything.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We're doing one next month for Willie Stargell, right? Willie Stargell, the baseball player.
You are correct. You are on a Pittsburgh podcast. Yes, Willie Stargell.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad. I didn't know that. But he's a Pittsburgh Pirate that he married someone from Wilmington, North Carolina, and he did his kidney dialysis down here when he got sick, and he died, 2001 or 2002. But they have a 5K down here, and it's just to raise proceeds to people with kidney disease. So it's a little expensive, but it's worth it because what it's going towards.
Yeah, and what's like the Pittsburgh one going towards? Like people's beer funds? Like what does that go
I
towards?
d It may go towards something else. I think it said it goes toward the parade and just, like, making sure it's still a thing next year. Yeah, I don't know. It's been around since 1950, so,
Is it nonprofit? Like, does that make sense? Like, it's not like it's up to them to kind of make something happen. It's not like Macy's, or there's got to be a sponsor. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's a ton of sponsors. First National Bank is the big sponsor this year, but if you look at all the sponsors, there's, like, PNC, there's, Uncle Joe's or Grandpa Joe's candy shop.
In the strip district. Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different sponsors. Do you know which mayor made this parade a yearly thing?
I don't know many mayors. I only know Ravenstall. That's about it. So I don't know who made it a thing.
You know his name, David L. Lawrence.
What?
David L. Lawrence, the mayor of Pittsburgh at that time, since 1950, was the guy who made sure that this has been around.
So he was a mayor. 1950. He was the mayor.
Yep. Well, 1949, and then he made sure that starting with 1950, the parade happened every year.
Good for you, David L. Lawrence. You know what? You deserve a building for yourself.
One of the most famous buildings in Pittsburgh.
Yes. And you will be known for World of Wheels for the rest of your life.
And every wedding show in the country.
That's right. That's where your legacy is. Let's see what
Did
else.
you know that they had a parade during the 1993 blizzard?
I believe that. That is a very Yinzer thing, it sounds like. Like they just say rain or shine. I feel like that's the thing.
Did it rain or shine? One year they didn't do it because like a tornado hit. But besides that, it was like every single year, even the 93 blizzard.
I believe it went through during COVID too, but there's just nobody there.
I think so. I think you're right. I think they just like live streamed it or something.
Yeah. And I'm trying to see what else. It usually begins at 10 a.m.
No, 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 no. It happened because COVID shut everything down like a week later.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. March 7th, like March 17th, I think, is like when everything shut down. Like it was somewhere along there. So it happened the weekend before.
Yeah. So it was like the last hurrah.
Yeah. So it starts at 10 a.m. Uh, and it looks like some participants include Irish step dancers, kind of like what I was doing just a little bit ago. Um,
Yeah, exactly like
marching
that.
marching bands, and of course, military groups, community organizations, Irish cultural groups, and you cannot forget. Bagpipes. That's all I was
Bagpipes,
trying
of
to
course, of course.
bagpipes. The same bagpipe song that must be played every single year. Yes, and the drums,
There it is.
percussion drums.
It's classic. I wouldn't feel right without it. There's actually a bar down here. It's a brewery called Under the Bridge, and they do a Irish hoolie once a year. And it's like I think it's this upcoming weekend. Then they do like Irish festival stuff. They have dancers. They have all this stuff. So it's a big thing across the country.
Ooh, that's what I was going to ask you. What's North Carolina do? And it's not as big as Pittsburgh, but what do they do?
They have a brewery where they have a hoolie.
Like,
There's no a lot of people down here are Scottish.
I'm ashamed.
A lot of people down here are not Irish. If there are, it's not many. So like, you know, not too much of that happens down here.
Ooh, what about people in South Carolina, huh? Do they have a hoolie as well?
They're just old and retired.
All right. So in your map, do you have Liberty Avenue and 11th Street, moves
Mhm,
down Grant Street,
mhm.
turns onto the Boulevard of the Allies, and ends near Stanwick Street and Commonwealth Place?
Like straight from the website, brother.
Yep, that's right. So that's fun. And I'm trying to see if there's any other like fun, unique facts. A popular phrase tied to the parade is "everyone is Irish for the day."
Sure is. That's a good one. I like that one. That's how it should be.
It just reminds me of the line from Boondock Saints, where it's just like, "Come on, everybody's Irish today."
I got my Boondock Saint shirt on.
That's right.
Man, what a great movie. It takes place on St. Patrick's Day, so it's a classic one.
Let's see what other unique facts. Parade did go through the major snowstorm. Does say it on there. Snowstorm in '93. Here's one. 1956, when the parade was officially canceled due to snow, about 200 people still marched anyways.
Dude, okay.
Yeah. People are very dedicated. I guess when you're highly inebriated and, you have enough confidence, you could do anything.
There wasn't much to do back in those days except drink and do parades. The history of parades is pretty interesting, but like that's good. Did you know most parades back in those days didn't even have a route? They just kind of walked around until they were done.
That really sounds like, I'm going to throw another parade in there for a second. That really sounds like the Mummers in Philadelphia. And do you know what the mummers are?
No, what's that?
So the mummers is just like people that kind of just like, excuse me, dress up with like these big feather things or whatever on New Year's Day, and they just kind of do like a little like, one guy, like a whole group, like 200 people will like go and just be like, ah, and then another group of 200 people will come and just go, ah, like they'll just be, I don't know how to describe it.
That is interesting. I'd never heard of that before.
I'll show you a photo. Vamp, JJ, vamp.
I actually have something right from the website from the St. Patrick's Day website in Pittsburgh. Well, from what they said, with approximately 1/5 of the Pittsburgh metropolitan community claiming Irish heritage, it's no wonder the Still City boasts one of the largest St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the country. Irish step dancers, marching bands, military members, community organizations, and even Punxsutawney Phil are just a few of the participants that march down Grant Street every year on Saturday before St. Patrick's Day. Rain, hail, or even blizzard conditions cannot stop us from celebrating our Irish pride, especially when everyone is Irish for the day.
Heck yeah. That sounds very Pittsburgh like. Here are the mummers.
All right, so Chris has shown me a picture. Oh my gosh, it
Yeah,
looks like flowers. It
just
looks like
people. That's all it is. Just like different groups of people will just dress like that, and then they'll just dance, and like judges will be like, "Okay, I'll allow it."
there are judges.
There's judges there. I don't
They
know
look like
why.
they look like they're in like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something.
That's the mummers, and obviously Philadelphia sucks. You know,
Wait a minute. Why are there judges if they're just okay? You know what? I don't want to get too much into that. Maybe we'll do an episode on the weird mummers.
the mummers. I guess they do like some kind of like theme, and the theme is they have a different color. I don't know.
Quite the theme.
They're like, look, we have a different color on us. Ah, this
Like we're
worked, right?
trying to be like that one chick from Encanto, just making all these different flowers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you made me squish his face like a papaya.
Isabella. Anyway, um, why
Anyway,
I wrote this big thing here, but I feel like I just read this like 100 times. The theme of the Pittsburgh St. Patrick's Day Parade is always the celebration of the region's Irish heritage, honoring the holiday of Ireland's. Oh yeah, I read this already. Okay, this is basically just breaking down more of the St. Patrick's Day Parade is to celebrate St. Patrick.
now have you? This is a question that I just thought about. Have you or I, other than my strip district work, have we ever been to the St. Patrick's Day parade?
I haven't.
Nah, I haven't either. I was kind of there, but not really there.
I don't know, man. There's only a couple parades I like to go to. The Indianapolis 500 parade is like, I just love that one. But it just doesn't do anything for me.
I know parades are weird in my opinion. I don't know. Like I know in downtown Irwin they had a light up night parade one time for Christmas time, and the streets were just so packed, like you couldn't see anything. People were trying to shove in front of one another. I don't know. I
See,
respect the parade.
that's what I don't like. I like the Indy parade because you can like one up on the line, pull up a chair and watch it and relax, and it's no big deal. I feel like in a city, you're just shoved against the wall, you know?
Yeah, I respect the parade, but I don't like the fact that it is just pretty crazy busy the entire time. And then you go to leave, and then you're stuck in traffic, and then you're just like, "We had fun, right? This was fun."
With the exception of the Steelers and the Penguins parades when they win.
That is true. I was at the Penguins one, and we were in the parking garage.
Yes, you were. Didn't someone drop their hat and they threw it all the way back up again?
Probably, I don't know. It was a day. I remember it was like one of the days I had to like call. I called off work, and I was just like, "Crap! I got to pretend to be like sick or something." And I was like, "Hey, I
I got the
can't come
black
in.
lung.
I got the black lung, pa."
Oh, man.
So that's how I got out of work, by just pretending I had the black lung.
And you went to the parade. That's fun. I mean, Pittsburgh does throw a good parade. I will say that. St. Patrick's Day and Light Up Night, it always seems like it just it's a lot. It's a lot, and you gotta, like, be living close by to really enjoy it.
Not worth it, in my opinion. It's not really worth it.
Well, for
So
you who live in Westmoreland County, if you live in Allegheny County, it might be worth it.
yeah, that's true. If you live in the city, it's probably something like really cool to look at. So anything else that we kind of want to talk about?
What is your favorite food to eat for St. Patrick? What's your favorite Irish food in general?
See, that's why I asked you the question because I don't know. So I mean, I really do like a shepherd's pie. I think that's really good. But I think they have corned beef at Permanis, don't they?
They sure do.
Yeah, like I would probably do like corned beef or something.
A
I,
Reuben, dude.
is a Reuben Irish?
Yeah, of course it is.
Then I love Reubens. Um, and I also love potatoes. Like I make potatoes probably for like every single dinner I make. So I mean, I really like potatoes as well. I don't know why that's specifically Irish. I thought that was Idaho, but okay.
I'm slowly, unfortunately, slowly changing my taste to sweet potatoes because it's all over the place down here.
Sweet potatoes are good. They're very
I
good.
love, dude, sweet potatoes on the grill with some butter and some brown sugar. Oh, forget about it.
Hell yeah. So what about your favorite Irish food? Well, we know our favorite drink is Guinness. If you were to get green dye in something, it's probably going to be Miller Lite for me, at least. So, what is your favorite food and drink that you want green dye in?
Not gonna lie to you, man. So green dye, obviously Coors Miller, something light and easy. But Irish coffee is pretty darn good too.
Or an Irish car bomb. I haven't had that in forever.
I haven't either, not since I was 23, I think.
What is an Irish car bomb? Explain it to everybody.
Isn't it just Guinness and Baileys, and you just drop the Baileys into Guinness and chug it?
Yep, that's it.
I'd rather put my Baileys in with a little bit of coffee. Let me rephrase that. A little bit of Baileys in with a lot of coffee. But yeah, Guinness, I feel like that has to happen. I like that. I like this, the Irish coffees. I'm a big fan of shepherd's pie too. I think that if you get it in the right place and it's made the right way, oh man, like a little bit of a crunchy top, it's insanely good.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, that's all I really have about the parade. Is it okay if I say something real quick?
Yeah,
All right. So, I don't mean to sound like a person that's like, I'm not desperate. I'm not desperate for followers. I do this for fun and I have a good old time. Now, I'm making this so I can say for the TikTok followers, we are up to 400 TikTok followers and it just keeps growing out of nowhere. And I kind of want to set a goal that I want to be at 1,000 followers by the end of this month. So I'm hoping to crop this little TikTok video right now saying, hey, if you know someone that loves Pittsburgh like we do, have them follow our TikTok page. I want to be at 1,000 by April 1st. And I don't want to be fooled on April Fool's Day. So if we can do it, let's freaking do it. What do you think, JJ?
I think so. I really enjoy all of our followers so far who have put input in. When we did the Kings episode, everyone talked about the Frowny Brownie. When we did the pizza episode, I know there was a couple haters on there, but like your input on what you want to hear and what you like, what you don't like, it really helps form the show. So get on there, tell us what you want to hear, let your friends know, get them to like our stuff because like we want to know what y'all want to hear and we're going to talk about it.
And TikTok has so much reach that like sometimes like coworkers will be like, "Hey, I just saw your face," and then just like I'll be, I went to get my car inspected to a place I used to work at, and they're like, "Hey, you have a podcast?" I went, "Yes, I do." Where'd you find out? And they said on TikTok. So I'm just like, let's get to it. I didn't want to sound desperate, but screw it. Let's get to 1,000 followers. See if we could do it.
Yeah, I don't have any social media right now, but if you ever on iFunny, come find it. Our picture is the podcast episodes on.
Oh my god. So do I need to add that to the social media platform? Just like follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and iFunny.
No need to do that. iFunny is it's a dead program. It shouldn't even be allowed anymore. Um, yeah, man, I think that's an awesome goal. I think that whenever this year started, we talked about wanting to have more guests and wanting to get more followers, wanting to grow. So I think it's a wonderful thing to put that out there to manifest it. You know.
Yeah, but we'll have more guests on here and everything. I mean, I would like to do a couple episodes that, involve some Pittsburgh input. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live episode if we get enough followers.
Live. Live from New York. Sorry, live
Hey,
from Pittsburgh.
it's JJ and Chris. Hi guys.
Ooh, I hate to say this, just because I'm not a fan of it and I don't really care, but I feel like we have to. We probably have to talk about the NFL draft in Pittsburgh.
Yes, we do next month. I'm pretty stoked,
I know. So,
especially
okay,
because the Steelers are making moves.
now, heck yeah. Let just move up and let's get that quarterback. Just kidding. The Raiders are going to get that Mendoza. So
Oh yeah, no, we're not getting that guy.
no, no. But that's all I have for this episode. So I appreciate everyone that listens. I appreciate everyone that follows, and we go and get bigger from here. And I'm excited.
God should have betcha.
Gotcha, you betcha. All right, I've been Chris.
I've been. Oh, we're ending. I've been JJ.
Do you want to keep going?
No, I guess we'll wrap up since it's about 45 minutes. So we're excited to talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, we're ending.
Yeah,
I've been Chris.
I've been JJ.
We'll see you ends real soon.